Hi, I'm Emma, and you're watching My Birthway, which is a series of videos that I have been filming starting from before we conceived this baby, when we were trying to conceive, September, October of 2016. So that's what these videos are about, and one of the reasons why I'm doing them is because I really want my children to see what this experience was like for me. I really want people that I love that are far away from me, that I don't get to talk to because everybody's busy, to see what this experience is like for me. And also because I am a doula and I really would like to share my experience with my clients and the birth community, just to show that pregnancy is pregnancy. Some things are fun, some things are not fun, but ultimately it's a real raw experience, and I don't skip over any of those raw things. A couple weeks ago I was talking about my bloody boogers and talking about layer fat above my butt, stuff like that. That's not everybody wants to talk about, really, unless they're anonymous, but I like to talk about that stuff. So that's why I'm doing this. So this is my 27 weeks update. I feel like a lot of things I've noticed this week. First of all, you can see my stomach. Like when I sit now, you can see that it's a pregnant stomach, as opposed to, hey, could that be a pregnant person? No, I mean, like, it's there, it's sticking out, it's bigger now than it is in the morning because I eat and then it fills up. But I tend to feel huger and look huger and more bloated in the evening, and that's a real thing. And I've noticed that is also, every day, I think I've mentioned, it's obvious, like, I'm bigger and bigger every single day. And I've started noticing sleeping is getting really interesting, and I can just really tell that I'm big now. It's cool. I can't squeeze through spaces anymore like I used to, even though I still think in my mind I can squeeze past Jason in the bathroom door while he's doing something. And not really. I have to, because the sink's in the way, I have to kind of either push him out of the way or wait, which is not normal for me. I'm used to just squeezing through. But I've noticed one thing that's interesting is I have like some broken blood vessels on my hands. Can you see them? They're like little red dots, and they're not very much at all, and they just go, there's like a couple here, and that's it. And I think that's pretty interesting. I looked into it. Apparently it can be common with pregnant women. Now, I haven't seen it mentioned on hands. I've just seen it mentioned on faces and things. And it's just your blood's doing different things. You have a lot more blood. And it hasn't really migrated or changed, because I told the midwife way back at our last appointment about it, and I think I'd forgotten to mention it on the video until now. And she said, if it spreads, I'd be worried maybe it's a platelet problem, but, it could just be whatever. So, I'm going to have my blood tested next week or in 2 weeks when we go to the appointment. So, we'll know. I really don't think that's it. I just think it's the way my body is doing blood right now. It's just happened to be that way. I haven't had any real other pigment changes, except the hand color pigment change I mentioned way early on. So I think this is just one way my body is different, and I've also noticed that, your boobs get bigger and you can see the veins in your boobs more. I've noticed that there's one vein in this boob that's starting to like get a little 3D and like stick out a little bit, which is fine with me. I just think it's interesting. I'm like, oh, extra blood flow. Like the way hand veins are textured and stick out. It's doing that a little bit, barely, but a little bit. And I noticed it because I noticed that kind of stuff. Also, I had mentioned weeks ago about my quest for maternity underwear, and it was horrible and it was not fun, and I couldn't figure out any good fits. And I followed the advice of one of my friends, which was to just go to like Target or Walmart and get those $5 pair of underwears in the bins that are like the tiny lacy underwears that are cotton, but they're stretchy, mostly cotton, but they're stretchy. And that seems kind of weird at first, because you're like, yeah, but they're like tiny and lingerie-like. And yet you get a size bigger than you need. Like, they fit, and I don't mind small underwear as long as it stays on my butt. So I got some pairs and they fit so well. That's a large now. I'm like, wow, I haven't gotten a large ever. And I wanted to get, not get a medium because I think that would have fit, but get a large so I can keep wearing them. And then also, too, the added bonus is they make you feel cute. You're not wearing these big goofy underwears, which there's nothing wrong with big goofy underwears, but it makes you feel more like yourself if you're used to wearing small underwears. And I am. So, because I have a really low pelvis, I think, related to, I'm trying to think of how to say this, in proportion to my hips. I have a low crotchal region, I guess. So like my butt crack never sticks out of pants. I have a low butt crack, so I'm used to being able to wear lower underwears without having to, my hip bones are lower, I think. So anyway, that's something. So I'm super excited about having underwear that works now. And some of my old underwear still does kind of work, but I'm like, yes, this is great. I also feel like I've noticed that I am starting, the bump, the amount of where my bump is the most is starting to move up a bit. Because people before were saying, oh, you have a low bump, you're going to have a boy. But I think it's starting to move up a little bit. And, you know, who knows what we're going to have. I'm, you know, less convinced it's a boy now. I think I mentioned a while ago, but that's cool to see the shape of myself migrate and to feel that my uterus is definitely getting bigger, but it's not getting bigger any lower, because for a while it felt like it was getting bigger lower. Now it's getting bigger higher, which is easier for maneuvering in my opinion. My legs are in the way less. You know, if it's sticking out up here, I like that better than sticking out really low. It's harder to put my shoes on, you know. I've also got interesting rolls of fat in interesting places. I think I've mentioned before. Just everything is getting this extra layer, which is cool. It makes me feel like a real animal woman, which is what I am. Also, I can't eat as much at once anymore. I hit a wall on that. It's like, I try and I just can't. My stomach won't take it. So it's because it's shrinking. And so I have to eat a little bit less, but eat more often. But I was pushing it because I like to eat a lot at once. It makes me feel psychologically satisfied. But I can't anymore. Also, my weight is approximately 20 pounds more than it was when I got pregnant. So, I think I was 147 to 148, or, you know, I think before I got pregnant, maybe 145, because I didn't start measuring my weight till about 6 weeks. And that's when it was 147, 148. So I'm a 167 now, which means I've gained at least 20 pounds, around 20 pounds, I'll say. And so I'm excited about that because 20 pounds is a lot, you know, and I think that could be the weight on my hips, you know, in bed. And it's not like too much at all, and it's not too little. It's just the range my body's doing naturally. I'm not concerned about gaining too much. I am concerned about gaining too little, but not anymore, because I realize now is when the weight gain is really going to stick to me. And, you know, 20 pounds at 27 weeks seems solid in my opinion. And when you look at medical guidelines too. And then the last thing I've noticed this week is my belly button that used to be, here, I think I can show you. My belly button that used to be really deep belly button that wasn't really all windy and stuff. My husband's is really windy and you can't get in there. And it's, you know, it's like, oh, what's in there? Belly button lint? I don't have that. Mine was like a wide open hole, like really, like, oh, I can see into the bottom, but it's also a very deep belly button. My belly button's getting really shallow. So I'm curious to see if it does come out and bust out. I can see it better. Yeah, so it's shallow and it's starting to close because of the pressure of the pulling of the, you know, so I don't know, maybe it'll turn into an outie. Maybe it'll just get shallower and shallower and then be flat. Who knows? So that's what's happening this week, 27 weeks. I'm still, as I was before, going slower, feeling a little tired, but nothing that's like a big deal. Yeah. So happy 27 weeks to me and to you, even though it's not your 27 weeks probably, but maybe it is if you're watching this now. And I will see you next week for 28 weeks. This is kind of the third trimester now, but next week, according to everyone, it's the third trimester. So maybe we'll celebrate the third trimester next week. Thanks for watching all the videos. As always, you can leave comments. You can email me. It's ourbirthway@gmail.com. You can go to my website, which is my doula website. It's ourbirthway.com. But thanks a bunch, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye.